Howdy friends, it's Scoutmaster Demi. We are about to board a flight to Austin, Texas. We're going to watch the total solar eclipse, and it might rain. That's right, it's the cosmic event of my lifetime, and there's a real chance I'll miss it. Well, maybe lifetime is a bit dramatic, but a total eclipse in your region is a very rare thing. I don't know when California will ever get one, but Texas is on this path of totality, and it isn't that far. In fact, my awesome uncle is flying me out there. He made it a point to drive out there with another uncle. They'll both be picking me up at the Austin, Texas airport, rain or shine, but hopefully shine. To help summon a clear sky, I packed the most fitting DS game and a solar sensor that won't work in the rain. I even packed my lucky Tommy Wiseau briefs. Please leave a comment if you know who this is. He is one of my favorite human beings. And to top it off, I stuffed my bag with tons of moon pies. First off, fitting, right? Moon pies. But actually, this is one of many food promotions for the eclipse. I tried Sonic Drive-In's Blackout Slush, for example. It's a pretty good drink, but the real reason to get it is the free eclipse glasses that you get with it. It was super fun. Sun Chips are pretty funny. They're offering a special limited edition bag where you can only order them during the eclipse. In other words, you'll have 4 minutes and 27 seconds to order them online. I appreciate them embracing their name, and I'll let you know in the comments as well if I manage to order one. Oh, just this morning I tried Krispy Kreme's Total Solar Eclipse Donut. The frosting is the sun, the Oreo is the moon, and the chocolate glaze is the starry sky. Clever and delicious. Burger King's promotion is a lot more soulless. It's a buy one get one Whopper. Nice. At least the promotion art is fun. Pizza Hut is a simple $12 large pizza carryout. Again, you can forgive a lame promotion with a fun image. Look at Wendy's. It's a lame picture and a lame pun. But moon pies are by far the best. They went all out with this wrestling promo video. It's a fight between the sun and the moon that does not have enough views. And these eclipse glasses they come with are pretty darn cool. I will say, ordering this box was not for the faint of heart. The shipping price for one single box of Moon Pie Survival Eclipse boxes was $20. I was curious if I'd qualify for free shipping by adding tons of Moon Pies to my cart. Nope, but only $8 more, so I now have a ton of Moon Pies, hence my backpack. Hope my uncles like sugar on the ride back. And actually, on the subject of these special boxes, they have a strange name. At first I thought, Survival Kit? What's there to survive about an eclipse? I thought it was a throwaway joke, until I looked on YouTube for eclipse research. I typed in Solar Eclipse April 8th, 2024, and look what my top results are. Clickbait warnings and prophecies? So, it turns out that another extremely rare occurrence is soon upon us. 2 separate broods of cicadas that are close to each other will both emerge from underground and swarm upon the US around the same time as each other. The last time that happened was over 200 years ago when Thomas Jefferson was around. Despite scientists making it clear that these are not locusts and that they're more of a nuisance than an actual agricultural problem, some folks have interpreted this through a biblical doomsday lens. Well, I won't rain on anyone's parade unless it actually rains on my parade. Ugh. Let's see what happens. While I'm on the plane, now's a good time to brush up on some eclipse facts. You may have heard some conflicting info as to how rare this event is. So eclipses themselves aren't a rare occurrence, but there are several varieties of them. The total eclipse, when the moon completely covers the sun, happens about every 18 months. That's pretty frequent, right? Well, think for a second about how much of our Earth is the ocean. 71%, that's over 2/3. So statistically, most total eclipses happen away from civilization, and the ones that do occur over land are very unlikely to be near you. If a total eclipse does happen close by but you miss it, on average, you'd have to wait 375 years for it to happen close again. That's why I'm heading to Texas. Most of the United States will see some sort of eclipse, but just a partial version. The total eclipse is all around this path of totality. You can see part of it on the Moon Pie box. Though I guess the best place for this eclipse was Mexico, as it has the lowest odds of clouds or rain. Ooh. Also, as another fun fact, even though the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, it also, by some cosmic coincidence or fate or whatever you want to call it, is about 400 times as far away from the sun as it is. That's why, even though they're totally different in size, there is actually a few points where they do overlap just perfectly, and that is the joy of this total eclipse that I can't wait to see, right? Seriously though, I would be so disappointed if we flew all the way out here and didn't get a chance to actually see it. I actually recently got LASIK eye surgery just a week ago. That way I could have the full potential of seeing the sun in the best way possible. And of course, I do have the solar eclipse glasses. Look, in fact, I've actually got both the Sonic drive-thru ones and the Moonpie ones. So there's going to be a lot of variety in terms of actually being able to watch it with my uncles. I'm sure they themselves have their own glasses, but I got a few extra copies just in case. And actually, NASA recommends that people who take photography or videos of the eclipse use these exact same solar glasses or lenses to protect your lens. It's actually something I didn't really think about. I'm really glad that I read this article. Otherwise, I might actually have ended up destroying a large part of my own expensive video equipment, or at least expensive by my standards. After resting on the plane, I eventually landed in Austin Airport. It's small but really cool and full of all sorts of cool guitars. My two uncles picked me up, not one, in their incredible Rissy racing van full of mountain bikes and awesome paraphernalia. Really excited to ride in this back to Los Angeles after this trip. I thought we might end up going to a hotel, but actually we're staying at the home of Uncle Kevin's childhood high school friend. Her name is Carrie. She has been just an amazing hostess, and she's got a really interesting story too. For example, her father in 1962 was one of the original NASA engineers and scientists, so she's got all this exciting space-related paraphernalia, NASA-related stuff. Frank Borman signed something. I have to tell you about Frank Borman in a future video. He's one of my favorite scientists. RIP, rest in peace, my friend. Her children are also really exciting too. Her daughter was a national inline skater, and her son was a world champion roboticist. So yeah, really, really impressive family. But if you ask me, the most impressive thing of all was her breakfast. I love King's Hawaiian rolls, but I've never ever thought about making French toast out of them. It was absolutely delicious, coated in cinnamon. Holy cow, I've definitely got to steal that recipe myself. And yeah, we're basically just getting ready for the eclipse. The weather is not as bad as I thought it would be. It's definitely not as dark and stormy as I thought. I mean, knock on wood, we still got about another hour and a half before the eclipse itself starts, but we've got all our gear. We've got plenty of different glasses to choose. My uncle is prepped with his drone. He's got a time lapse ready to go. I'm actually really excited, and I'm feeling a lot better that it's not just going to be a super rainy day. Also, shout out to Carrie for being an awesome gamer girl and just giving me her old Atari sets. I love these old games, the way that they're boxed and packaged. And honestly, I think we'll have a fun future video trying to find old CRTs that can even run this and just try to get some fun, extremely retro game action. I think it's going to be a really great time. Thank you so much for being such a great host, Carrie. The house was also full of tigers, which I thought was a really fun touch. I just thought everything was really immaculately decorated. Such a fun place to stay in.
Yeah, no, this is so cool.
Holy cow.
Look at the star up there. There's a hole in the sun.
Oh. That's way too cool. Wow.
It's so dark.
Get to see this.
I know. Is Harry coming out?
What's the feeling you get just like seeing it up there like that, right? That's
It's just amazing.
Uncle Kevin, compare that to the last one. I mean, I guess they're probably similar, but what was your...
So we were very nervous with the cloud and the weather report. You know, a week ago it looked good, and then all of a sudden it's like, no, Texas, no, go up to Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, it's about the journey. You know,
Absolutely.
we know what's going to happen in the sky. We will experience it. And we did.
Oh,
And
it was
the
so
skies
cool. They
cleared,
parted.
The moon covered the sun just the right size. Got dark. Luna was just chilling out, just like, hey, happy to have everyone here. So Carrie had her beautiful deck.
Yeah.
Well, this is the place to be.
This is Roswell, New Mexico. It's a town of aliens with little invaders decorating the streets, the walls, even the McDonald's. My uncles and I were on a road trip and ended up abducting ourselves in this small but memorable town. I'm Scoutmaster Demi. This is Roswell. Right away, we were greeted with a massive alien holding up a sign. Since it was morning, we weren't in the mood for ice cream, but my uncles and I tried the Dunkin' Donuts. There were aliens all over the shop, and I think you can guess what the Baker's Choice donuts look like. Green with cute artwork, they look good from afar, but I think as the worker abducted them, our poor donut aliens crash-landed with smushed faces. Still, they were soft and tasty. You might be wondering by now, why aliens? Well, back in 1947, something downright bizarre crashed on a Roswell ranch. The government tried to pass it off as a weather balloon, but eyewitnesses swear they saw something they couldn't yet describe. This was the first official sighting of a UFO, an unidentified flying object, and ever since, Roswell has fully embraced aliens and tourism. For example, the local McDonald's is no mere building, it's a giant UFO. A hand-drawn mural and silver aliens decorate the outside, and a space-themed playground decorates the inside. Do you remember the McDonald's crew back from when McDonald's was actually targeted at kids? The gang's all here, suspended in space. Birdie flies a French fry rocket. Grimace does Grimace things. I think the Pink McFlurry thing is called a Fry Girl, and of course, Ronald McDonald, the astronaut, floats in the center. The vibe of this whole UFO restaurant is retro sci-fi, and I hope that never changes. When was the last time you saw a playground at McDonald's, or glowing alien lights, the kind that kids used to have in their room? I certainly did. This place brought me back to a whimsical time, like, look at this sci-fi mirror that makes your head grow. Look at this high-tech device. You can place your order without waiting in line, and these little squares can be scanned with your phone. All jokes aside, this UFO McDonald's was the big hoop. For context, my uncles and I had watched the total solar eclipse in Texas. That's when the moon completely covers the sun. The next time that'll happen in the US, by the way, 2044. The eclipse was an otherworldly experience in the best way possible. Heck, we've got a whole video on it you should definitely check out. And as we road trip back to California from New Mexico, we love that Roswell could continue that cosmic feeling. The town is mostly cute. There are little green men all throughout the area. That's a real term, by the way. An LGM, or Little Green Man. That's also where the Pokémon LGM comes from. Roswell is full of fun, quirky things. Have you ever seen a horizontal traffic light or spicy alien jerky? It's also where one of my top Disney characters used to work.
CIA, Roswell, 1973.
There's so much alien history in Roswell that even Lilo and Stitch refers to it. And if you enjoy alien history, you'll love this place. The full title is the International UFO Museum and Research Center. Half of it is fun and quirky, like this display of Destroy All Humans, the PS2 game, this kitschy painting, these vintage alien cars, and the famous Thinker statue, except a little bit different. But the other half of this museum is serious, dead serious. I'm talking rows of files and documents, all alphabetized and arranged. I'm talking first-hand accounts, many of them. Military personnel history. I'm talking mandibles that alleged experts have no ID on. It's an uneasy feeling. And even in the display areas, which do have fun photo ops like being on the cover of the Super Nintendo game Earthbound, it's still quite serious. The way they laid things out in this museum is quite smart. They lured us in with the cute budget dioramas just to slam us with this overwhelming set of events. The panels get really detailed. They talk about all sorts of things like the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind. You've heard of that, cool name, right? But it turns out it's actually a real expression on a scale where the higher numbers mean you're closer to the action. So, for example, a close encounter of the first kind is seeing a UFO. The second kind has physical evidence of the UFO. The third kind means you can see what's inside the flying saucer. And the fourth kind is straight up abduction. Then there was a panel on alien implants by Daryl Sims. who claimed to have been implanted himself as a child. He did speak at an American Medical Association conference, so there must be some sort of validity to his work. I mean, in 2 medical cases, there were researchers who found materials inside the alien implants that were related to rare meteors. If that makes you feel uneasy or skeptical, rest assured I feel the same way. But don't worry, because right after that, I saw the alien memes dude, like the actual guy. He was talking about how a Mayan engraving on a tomb was not symbolic, it was literal, and that it depicted an actual spaceship. There was a 3D sculptor who had a team and spent over 3 years bringing this vision to life in color. I will leave the interpretation of that to you, dear listener. I did enjoy the media area, like this vintage movie poster for The Day the Earth Stood Still. I was most surprised to see a section on Kyle MacLachlan. He's a big part of Roswell, the TV show, where he plays both a younger and older man, or at least that's how it seems. I've never actually seen it. I know Kyle MacLachlan from my favorite TV show, Twin Peaks. Last week we visited the real-life Double R Diner from that show, and I'd highly recommend watching. It was a darn good cup of coffee with a slice of cherry pie. And hey, if you enjoy this content, definitely consider subscribing. I make a new travel video every Tuesday, so come join our campfire. Anyway, we ended the UFO Museum by discovering the solar system. Unfortunately, this alien tech was so advanced that our feeble human computers weren't able to run it. My uncles and I then headed to the gift shop, which was full of all sorts of fun merch. I personally grabbed a Roswell pin for my Scoutmaster hat to add to my collection of memories. Then we left Roswell for the world's largest pistachio, and no, I'm not joking, though there is more to that story. McGinnis Pistachio Land, home of the world's largest pistachio statue. Yep, that's it right there. But make no mistake, this place is not simply a bait and switch. Many celebrities have passed through Pistachio Land, like Ozzy Osbourne and Larry the Cable Guy. I mean, heck, even Jack Skellington hangs around. He's probably the one that's responsible for this vile joke about crickets. But you're not here for jokes, my dear Scout. No, you're here for 14 different flavors of pistachio. And thank goodness McGinnis Pistachio Land is not skimpy with their free samples. You can scoop them out super easily. My personal favorite was the garlic roast. I think there's a nice kick of flavor that goes really well with the saltiness of the pistachio, but there's all sorts of types, like spicier versions, vinegary versions, even sweet versions. Although if you like desserts, you may as well try a free sample of the pecan pralines. Heck, they're not really my favorite candy. I think they're just a little bit too hard in general, but I think they were pretty good for what it was. I'd rather get something a lot more gimmicky like pistachio fudge, green as can be. I mean, 1, I love fudge, and 2, why the heck not? That's exactly why my uncle and I also got pistachio ice cream, which to be fair is at least a real thing, and boy, was it real. Even though the day was quite cold, the line was long for this fresh and tasty treat. It was really delicious. I would have loved to see the tour of the McGinnis farm, but we arrived ever so slightly too late for that. Still, we had a decent time. You can tell that the workers are very proud of their product and all the local goods that they carry. It's a commercial place, but it feels honest. I think that they absolutely deserve the Business of the Year award, and what can I say? They got my family good because McGinnis attracts all sorts of nuts. With my uncles in line, we waved goodbye to Pistachio Land as it was time for our final destination, which was truly a sight to see. Howdy friends, it's Scoutmaster Demi. We are here today at White Sands National Park in New Mexico, and just as the name implies, it is white sand as far as the eye can see. We've got a pleasant rain that's falling down on us. It's not hot. There's not a blaring sun ruining our day, requiring sunglasses. In fact, it's really tranquil and quiet. You can see a few cars coming in and out. We're near an area that you can stop at to eat with picnics and things like that. But otherwise, it's just, I don't know how to describe it, really. It's just gentle, very tranquil. I'm excited to see a lot more of this place too. What's fun too is we still have our moon pie solar eclipse glasses from just yesterday when we got to take a look at that. And now we can just kind of look up at the sun. Got a really interesting set of clouds going on. Really gorgeous setup here. And not much wind either. Really quiet, really tranquil.
That's funny, that really does just taste like pistachio and fudge.